Yo, feels bad, man. Okay. See if we can get over 380 or if this will hold. I expect there to be some absorption here. Russell leading up. What's up, Adam? How you doing, man? No, not yet. A little early for me. Just planning right now. Good rejection so far where we thought it would be. This 343.80. ES failed to show interest over our VWAP. Let me change the color of this. If you don't know, VWAP should always be defaulted as purple. That is the law. I don't make the rules. What's up, Club? How you doing, man? I'm running on about 1 hour of sleep right now, so I've been better. It's good. It's gonna be a rough day. Wow. Jesus.
At 10 a.m. Eastern Time, expecting the University of Michigan sentiment final. Forecast 50, prior 48.9, with a range of 53 to 48.9. 5-year inflation forecast 3.3%, prior 3.4%. 1-year inflation final forecast 4.6%, unchanged from the prior. Expectations final forecast 49.6, prior 49.3, and conditions final forecast 49, prior 48.4.
Offer sitting at 300, 290 here on NQ. Watching to see if they'll hold the lower high. A bit of a divergence here with Russell and ES compared to NQ. Yeah, I think that's fine. That RTY long off the 30-second opening range. Just gotta be careful
According to
into
Intervax,
20.
citing sources, no decision has yet been taken on banning Russian diesel exports, and monitoring will continue.
20, you've got to get through that absorption there. Someone taking in decent size on the offer. What's up, my boss? Mabasa.
So, according to the Financial Times, Prime Minister Starmer commits at least £1 billion more for UK defence.
They just continue to take in here at 40s, man. Holy. Buyers taking in size here at 010 on Russell. Just in a 10-point range on RTY. I wouldn't be all that worried about shift in trend until we showed interest below 05s on RTY personally. But everything just looks a little range bound right now. We're taking in so much size on ES into 86 to 90, 85 to 90 really. Very clear absorption up into these highs. We're gonna need to flip that for me to think that we're doing anything of importance. I'm looking at micros right now. Let me look at the book is so thin, bro. It's like 1 to 2 contracts per price point with some gaps. A couple 4 lots. It's so bad. It's not worth it. Straight micros. You're gonna end up getting ruined.
Reminder in 5 minutes' time, expecting the University of Michigan Sentiment Final, forecast 50, prior 48.9. 5-year inflation final, forecast 3.3%, prior 3.4%. 1-year inflation final, forecast 4.6%, unchanged from the prior. Expectations
Big
final,
size coming in
forecast
on
49.6,
ES
prior 49.3. And conditions final,
into this
forecast
86.
49, prior 48.4.
They're really trying to push us through this absorption here. See if they can do it or if this is it. Another fail. That was a big size on that push into 86. No, nothing unusual yet on NQ. Yes, leading here. Good look above. I'd love to see a retest of that, honestly. NQ bid started to step up at 350, 360. Watch to see if they'll retest that 350, 360, or if we're just going to go straight to target here after flipping our pivot. Ideally, we retest, but, you know, I'm not sure. Very clearly a buyer there, though, so if we do come back down, we'll be watching that. 94s here on ES is your most bullish hold if we're going to do it without having to do a full comeback down. Keeping an eye on that. A lot of sellers take it in there. We just defended it on retest. Should be able to get some continuation off that from our 94 market. If we can flip above this 405, we can look for 412, but we have to be very careful here. This is our big pivot for this entire week, where we were continuing to fail to look below and hold. We're now testing into that 405, 410. I want to see a very clear look above this. Buyer stepping in here at 420 on NQ, trying at least. Retesting them now. Really watching this pushback into 94 here from our 405. Seeing how we can build. If Russell can continue to lead up, then we're good, but gotta see if we can flip this.
The Nasdaq 100 pairs dropped to 1%. The S&P 500 pairs declined to 0.2%.
Buyer holding our 420 so far. Not a ton of size yet.
So according to Interfax, Russia's Alarosa says its subsidiary Severmas suspends operations for around 3 months. One minute remaining. I'll be leading with University of Michigan sentiment final.
New 15s, 50 seconds, plus new news. On RTY, you've got news coming out soon, man. Your previous day POC is at 32. Your overnight high is at 45. I think if 20s can hold, you're in a pretty good position for continuation on Russell, but you have to be careful. We really want to see 20s bid on retest. The reason why I say what I'm saying is everything's like you're testing
10 seconds.
the structure here. So what I would like to see is for us to hold this and now be willing to defend these previous
49.5, 49.5, lower than forecast of 50. 5-year inflation final, 3.3%, 3.3% as expected. 1-year inflation final, 4.6%, 4.6% as expected. Expectations final, 50.7, 50.7, higher than forecast of 49.6. And conditions final, 47.7, 47.7, lower than forecast of 49.
If we can flip above that, then you're good for continuation, but it's going to take some time to get through 30-32, I think. So it's a good first PT. That's just your POC shift, really important level. Always a great trade area. Okay. Good bid at our 420s. If you're playing off that, this is next target into 520, 545. Taking off some risk here on NQ. Beautiful trade, 100 points off that.
We are posting the University of Michigan sentiment June final report on the feed for those interested.
See if we can hold this flip over 405. Good morning, Surf. Good morning, Kevin. Got to get over this 520, 545 for anything more.
The US dollar index holds decline after University of Michigan sentiment data, last down 0.42%.
Just watch this like 64 to 44 area on NQ as we push into it. See if a bid sits there. It makes sense to get a bit of a pullback with us being into our Russell target. Now you just have to wait for Russell to find that low. But there should be a bid around here, 40s on NQ, if we're going to get some continuation. See what they do here. Yes, good hold of our 405 so far. Just watch your offer on NQ into 510 if you're playing off of that 40 to 60. Should be your first risk off. That's where they'll try to re-offer it for the lower high. Gotta flip it. For ES, just gotta get over his previous day value. Good hold at 405s, but again, just gotta recover this if we're gonna do anything new. Or this will just be, short-term res. We'll look for something like that. Or this will hold. Something like that. It's going to be very hard for the market to get more movement if we can't show continued interest on Russell over. Russell will kind of be our guide here to let us know if we're done short term or if we can get this continuation with higher lows. Oh, God, it's going to be a long day, man. Back into our highs here from our 480 hold. Pushing up. Move stops up or take some risk off. See if we can flip. Russell getting some continuation. Let's see what we can do here, boys. Just took off one on NQ and one on ES. Just did rudders though. I'll look to see if we can find an ad, if we can flip these pivots. I need to see some sort of like bigger buyer step in. But good hold of our lows there. Again, let's watch this flip. Nothing significant yet. This is just noise. A little look above, but nothing crazy. Just watching to see if we get an initiative seller or buyer. Ideally, NQ holds like 14s here.
So according to
Big
CNBC,
size stepping in here at
OpenAI,
560.
not on IPO timeline yet, hasn't begun testing waters meetings with investors.
Good hold of our pivot on flip, following pathing. Still need Russell to show some more interest, but good size stepping in here into these highs so far. This guy at 560 is our area of interest on NQ so far. Absorption into 425 above on ES that we'll have to watch. Bit worried. It's this auction between 514 and 560 right now on NQ. Just got to keep an eye on these two participants. So far, that 514, 520 is reactive, but offer stepping down. Russell, good look above, continuing us. Good hold of our pivot so far on ES. NQ trying to show a little traction up here. Taking off one more here on ES as we push into that 25 absorption that I was talking about. I have two contracts left from a 404 average. I've got to delete our pathing now that it's fully played so I can move charts up. Great hold of previous day POC to value. If we can show interest up here, we have room. 37s and 44s. Just got to continue to show interest up here with Russell continuation. This is previous day value high on Russell. Big pivot. I will continue to just look to see if we can build here so I can add to these positions instead of just taking off size. I'm not comfortable adding to these yet. We haven't built out enough. Just hold runners. Try to see if we can define an area. I'm worried about this high so far. All these buyers. We failed to sustain here. Right? Step down. Then everyone's off sides up here. Just gonna see if we can build this area out. Hold this POC on new 15s in 5 minutes. That I'll probably add. This ES 15-minute candle is quite large. Honestly, it's probably like this. That's what we'll be testing into. We'll see. Just what we thought was going to happen is starting to form here. This is why I haven't added yet. Just a pullback makes sense. Especially with Russell where it is. Just keeping an eye on these lows. See how if we trap these guys above or if we're going to trap sellers below on a little look below and fail. And then get a nice little initiative bid to look back outside of value here over 60. Just keeping an eye on it. Size taken into that 14 to 20 again. Watching a 60 here on reoffer. I'm going to change these levels based off of what we're talking about. This 14 seems oddly important right now. 560. Good hold so far. See if we can flip and hold this. 580 was to 560 was where we were absorbing last. We'd love to see this bid now and look above. Offer at 600. They're trying. Minute 30 until new 15s. A lot of effort being exuded here at 425 on EOS. Same thing with NQ 580, 600. They gotta flip this. What's up, Sauce? A lot of absorption here into 600. Russell's just gotta find this bid, man. We find this bid and we're good. Failure, then this guy's traps, and then we rotate. We need that to start to initiate. Failure to establish above 580, 600 will be a rotation back down to 520, 514. Need Russell to find a bid here, POC, pop, so that we can initiate, or we'll have to go for a liquidity lower first off this failure. ES starting to lead. See if NQ can follow. This is seller's chance to try to put in a lower high here on reoffer of our 60 to 70 for this rotation down to our 520 we were talking about. Watching now. See how they react here from our buyers. ES has more room to fall technically. Watching to see if NQ can sustain this 514, 520 guy, or if we're going to need to fall further. Yeah, that's so those are like aggregate bubbles. So yeah, it's like a lot of bubbles. Sorry, if there's like blue bubbles at those highs, that means that there were buyers who were attempting to push price, right? So when you see them at a high like that, I'm guessing you're seeing them into like 580. That means they're being absorbed there. Yes, exactly. It means that there was a lot of effort exuded, but not a lot of reward, right? So buyers tried to push price, they were market buying, but they were unable to push through the passive sellers who were taking in the size there. That's what that means. That's when I'm talking about absorption, that's what I'm referring to usually. It's like a lot of effort being exuded at highs, but no movement. So it's basically people market buying in and passive sellers taking in those market buys. Russell is sus, bro. What are we doing? And T-Man, just like right now, those are absorbing, right? Like, but when we retest that area off of a flip, we'll be watching, right? Like those guys as supportive on a retest where all that size was traded, right? So for right now, it's a resistance, and that makes sense. But if we ever flip and then look back
US stock
above, well, we're
indexes cut
watching to see if
losses,
there's an
S&P
initiative buyer
500
that
down
steps in there again.
0.1%, the Nasdaq down 0.2%, and the Dow flat.
Right now we have a known participant here off of our delta bubbles, and we have a known participant here. So we're trading around to these two participants until we do something new. That's how I'm gauging the auction. This 580, 600, and then this seller here who got stuffed at 514, 520. And you can see that on our 15-minute footprint as well. That's POC of our previous candle, and that's where this absorption occurred here. So we're watched to see if they can exude a flip here from our 14s. Bro, that 14 participant, what a legend. Holy, what a legend. What a random level. It's funny. It's good, man. Yeah. Good job, Adam. We'll see if Russell can get some continuation here to go to that ETH high. Watching a retest of our 580, 600, see if we can hold those guys like we just talked about. So far, looks so good. It's also a value of this candle right now. Buyer at 429 on ES. Just watch this edge when we retest. See if they can sustain it. Retesting into our 580, 600. Let's see if they can actively bid this. Sell side will try to aggressively push it down. We just need to see if there's going to be a reactive bid here. Same thing with the S into this 27, 29, ideally. Pop this shit. Need to see some Russell follow through. Sorry, I'm a little low energy. I am so tired. Uh, at least my brain's working. That's a plus. A little lackluster here so far. Not a great sign, but we'll see. Watching Russell. And this thing needs to move, man. I don't want to stagnate here. Lack of follow through is not great. Come on. Russell's got to find a low for us to get this bid across the market. What are they going to do? Okay, good bid off our levels. Take your first risk off, I guess. Do whatever you want. I don't know. I need Russell over value guy for me to give a shit. Yeah, RTY is hard to trade, man. The levels are really good, but the actual like contract is rough to trade. Its movement isn't very graceful. Are you trading a micro RTY? Is that what you're doing? Hmm. Are you doing that so you can trade multiple instead of just like one MES? Uh, you just gotta be careful with Russell because it's a little liquid. I mean, I like there's okay liquidity, but sometimes it dries up, man. Those moves can be like instant, where all of a sudden price gaps on Russell because of how liquid it can become. It's like with Russell specifically, I have a really hard time market buying on Russell. I have to like limit in and limit out, or my fills are like absolute trash because of how thin it is. Unless we're like in like straight trend, then I'm okay, of course. But when we're doing stuff like this, like I'd probably be break even if I was trying to trade this range at from 32 to 39. If I was trying to market in and out, just from the slippage. What's up, Rom? Morning, man. This follow through is not happening. It's the opposite of follow through. Yeah, ES is for sure your next step. I would say like a micro or two is probably even just better for you to be trading than Russell, just because it's not as thin, so the slippage isn't that big of an issue. I mean, I was hopeful that we were going to do that. We've uh we've petered out a little bit. Oh, maybe we'll be all right. We're trying to get back in above this 35. If we can show that interest over 35s, then I'll be interested for sure. We just did our weekly rotation into our support at 65s, tagged it, and then immediately popped back up from our weekly levels. So now I'm just looking to see if we can flip back above the 35s, but it's a battle here. This is where we chopped for like half of the day yesterday. It's yeah, I'm looking for something like this ideally. And then we can do this shit rotation again. Maybe we need to do like this first trap and then go if we continue to fail here at 35s. Where we go into like 405, 410 again, and then we can look for the flip. These are my two scenarios I'm watching for short term. After either a failure right now at 435s, and then rotation back down to like 405, 410 to see if we trap like we did on these previous rotations. Or a very clear hold and flip over this off of an initiative bid, and then we pop and then push up to, I don't know, 50. I don't know, one of these scenarios. Would that be ideal if we're going to go up? Just need to see like how excited they're going to be here. We started trading like it's lunchtime. This level is invalidated. We took in everything we could there. Very clear absorption into 28 to 32. That's our level of interest that we've got to flip. 28 to 32. Let's see if we can build above that, or if they're just going to continue to take into that. Yeah. Okay, maldito, man. I'm not overtly bearish here, by the way. Russell's flat. I don't, as long as Russell's just like balancing here, I don't care. We can just build out this node, but I'm not going to be actively trading it until we figure out what we want to do. But as long as Russell's just kind of like maintaining this, yeah, it's chill. Market can do whatever it wants. It's when we start to hold this 32 is offer from a look below that we're just going to head back down to 20. That's when we'll have to be worried. But again, not like bullish until we can step over that previous day value high. Just kind of choppy right now while we wait. Absorption on ES holding so far. Just rotating back down to our 420, 414 area. Sorry, 414, 416. Watching Russell here. ES just coming back down to our known buyer into this guy. Market falls until Russell finds a bottom and can get his shit together. Might be that VWAP like we talked about. We'll just have to watch our pivot here into 26, 27. NQ into our edge. Range lows bidding so far. Watching to see if Russell putting that lower high for that continuation down, breaking our ranges on ES and NQ, or if we'll just do another rotation up. I think the weakness on Russell will let us know what we want to do on these two range lows. And I need some speed to step back in for me to care. A little size taken there, 500s. I'm assuming Russell needs VWAP unless I see an active bid step us back above that 32. Just an FYI. So I won't initiate on any longs here into this edge low until I either see an incredibly active bid or Russell step back above that halfway back. Just not worth it my time. Maybe I miss out on the move. I'll be all right. This just looks like a reversion trade to me with a buyer stepping out of the way. Maybe they continue to take in size here at 500s and they can actually, squeeze this back up and stop these guys out into like 580 for reoffer, but that's as far as that move would go. If NQ buyers can't hold and maintain this 480, 500 here, we'll rotate back down to 400s on NQ. Before we find the low, whatever comes first, either like 400 on NQ or Russell into VWAP. We'll see what they do. But I'm not initiating on a lackluster bid at our lows with Russell still showing weakness. It's just a way to melt your account for no reason. They are taking in size here, but they're not doing anything with it yet. So just a VWAP reversion was what I'd expect. And then we watch to see how they play it. This is that following our plan here into the 405, 410 area off of the failure to get over 435s that I posted in chat. This would be that
Iraq's
idea
oil
on
ministry
ES
says
with
OPEC
Russell
has
coming into
begun
VWAP.
gradually restoring Iraq's pre-war production allocations, which will strengthen production capacity and support oil sector recovery.
So let's watch to see how they interact here as we push into this 410 and 405 on ES. We would need to get back over 420 for me to care, but good in reaction so far off of 410s. Russell, sorry, NQ at our VWAP. Get over this 420 on ES and then we're all right. Need to see a bid or that's where the offer sits here. Great first risk off if you're playing off of the 410 though. 10 points, can't be mad at that on ES.
Iraq's oil ministry says there's a high level understanding within OPEC that considers its past circumstances and current demands like a reaction.
This is our pivot here on Russell to let us know which way we're going to go. We'll look above at 420s on ES from our 10s. Good bid. Now retesting, seeing if we can find this liquidity here for this rotation up to 428 from a 420 hold. Testing now. Russell rejected. Yes and NQ retesting our edges here. Gotta find this higher low on Russell if we're gonna do anything new. Watch this auction here.
Iraq's oil ministry says the Prime Minister did not discuss leaving OPEC like reaction. So again, Iraq's oil ministry says Prime Minister did not discuss leaving OPEC, and Iraq's oil ministry says Baghdad supports reassessing OPEC production quotas to reflect member states' conditions and Iraq's economy and security circumstances.
New 15's opening, they have to re-offer this area where we just said watch this auction. It's got to be a very clear hold here on retest, or we will flip above and trap those guys there from below on the open of this new 15. It's got to be a very clear offer here, or we will trap. Watch these auctions. We just held our value low of previous candle, POC into that low. They'll try to take in sides here. If we can flip, then we're good. If they fail, then we'll look for sell side to step back below that 80 on NQ for confirmation and 14s on ES. Later, Kevin. Have a good day, man. Sell side failure there on the look below. Watching to see if we can sustain a bit above now. See some excitement. Russell retesting our pivot here at 32s. Big level. Got to flip. But we can see a potential initiation here with this trap seller into our lows like we were just talking about. We want this bid to now initiate highs for rotations through our value. So 28s on ES and 72s and 610s on NQs. If we can see a sustained bid above these pivots. Watching now. They gotta be able to do something with it or it doesn't matter. We can still trap. Come on, fuckers. It's still two-sided. Just getting this out of the way so that you can see the see what I'm talking about. Mark it like this instead. Bro, they gotta initiate now. Or we end up trapping into highs. Come on. Out my first risk here into 26, looking for 28s next on ES. And that's your full range rotation here into 28. I'm gonna risk off right here to 27.50 instead of 28. I don't need 50 cents on that. I'm out 2/3 into our value high here for the rotational trade off that failure at sellers, right? Just rotating up. In an ideal world, we take highs with this liquidity offsides below, but I don't know if we get it without Russell follow
Oman
through.
warned European allies ship fees likely needed for the Strait of Hormuz.
So I will always take off into known liquidity instead of hopes and prayers. Our hopes and prayers are for our runner, right? Yeah, you want to see buy side initiate here on retest of our valid low of this balance. You want to see them like pretty substantially show size to then pop highs for the balance rotation if it's going to do anything new. They're attempting. Sorry, I'm not in an NQ trade, so I'm not talking on it. But this is first risk, and this is secondary risk into 610s to 570. Just rotating back up into these highs off our hold. It's the same thing as ES, but just a little lagging. Again, it's going to be very hard to do anything new if Russell doesn't want to get over previous day POC here. Like we just need to see that initiate. We've traded so much volume on Russell up here that the daily POC just shifted to this level. Like, get me out of here, man. Just send it to VWAP. Let us be done with this. Like, what are we doing? Just send it to VWAP. So we can go. Ew, I just got an email. Halfway to Xmas sale. Don't tell me that. I don't want to know that. I don't want to be reminded that we're halfway to Christmas. What's wrong with you? It's like, what is your issue? I mean, 422 is good, Michael. You just have to be able to take off into 26 and 28. The issue, your fill was fine. I filled there as well, but you have to understand where sell side sits. That's the issue, right? It's the not taking off into known liquidity that'll hurt you because you're looking for more. Like, it's fine to look for more on a runner, but base hits, 6 points on ES is still viable, man. We're just headed back down to 410s here now and Russell into our VWAP. We just need Russell VWAP. That's literally all the market's doing right now. It's just consolidating for Russell VWAP. The market's is shit out of luck until then. Watching this 10 to 05 area on ES again. Hey, it's better than not taking off and watching it come down on you. You'll have a better opportunity once Russell hits this VWAP and actually bids. We're just stagnant here because this is just a very clear pivot. Not much for us to do until we show this interest when the market has full participation across the board. Good bid at 10 so far. Sadly, I didn't get filled there on my secondary contracts. Hey, hey, hey. I'm building out a tool right now that'll hopefully help you with exactly that. Here, I can show you. So it's going to take you the time frame that you're on and then measure the average ATR. And then it'll tell you, you put in your account size value. Oh, this is the wrong thing. You put your account size. So a 50K is $2,000 technically of actual capital, a 50K prop firm account. So you're probably risking like 200, 300 a trade. So then you can put in your actual risk, and then it'll base it off of the live ATR for the day, for the session. And then it'll tell you what you can actually be risking based off of the daily or the the chart time frames ATR.
According to the
You can change
International
it to
Maritime
a daily
Authority,
rolling ATR
the
as
usual
well.
Hormuz traffic lane may
Right.
have about 80 mines.
And this will change the table as well. It'll update eventually. But I'm working on that right now. And then it updates with the instrument and the time frame that you're trading on. I'm working on it. We'll see. But basically, like, I've got it so it's dual sizing as well. And then it'll create dynamic price targets and stops based off of the ATR in the day. So then you'll be like, oh, okay, I have an understanding of like what I should be in, what the bias is, and where my stops can be placed based off of that. If this is my entry, this is my stop, this is my TP, right? TP1 based off of our ATR on the day. And then like, what does that look like as a risk? And then like, what would that look like in micros? What would that look like in NQ with this kind of risk if I was trying to, obtain that? It's really tight right now. So I don't take these trades clearly. But this is an idea that I'm generating right now. Because if I can get this model down, then you can plug in whatever you want, right, for your account, and then you'll know exactly how much you can risk on each day. Because this is based off of the conversation we were having yesterday with Ben and Jason, specifically, where we were talking about how in volatility, right, like your conditions have to change, your monetary value, right, and like what you're trading, and like do you even have the risk right now? Like when we're on a 1 minute candle on NQ is trading 100 points, can you actually viably trade NQ? Can you trade a mini? Can you even trade a micro? Does it make sense within your risk parameters per trade? Or are you going to get stopped out on a 1 minute candle? So then it will tell you like the risk per candle, right? Like for the whatever time frame you're on. So if I go up to a 1 minute, right, like that's going to change my parameters. Or if I go to a daily, it's going to change my parameters. Like this, it's telling me I can't even afford a mini on the daily, or probably even the 15, I would assume. Yeah. So it's changing my cost basis based off of my risk and my overall liquidity on my account that I put in. That's the idea, at least. Again, it's a work in progress, but if I can like really hone in on this, then you'll have ATR based targets, ATR based stops with entries, right? Look at that. And then stops go to break even after it hits first PT. Yeah, it'll be it should be good once I fully get this down. Yeah, so you can change it from a fixed risk to a percentage based risk, and you could change it from a live ATR on the day to an average 20-day ATR, which would be similar to what you're talking about, Mabasa. So it's just like it depends on what you want to do. I think that both are viable, right? But you just have to know what your bias is and what you're looking for. And of course these can be changed, everything can be modified, but that's kind of that's the general idea, is that hopefully something like this will help with you guys eventually. It's not ready yet, but the idea is there. Kind of cool. I don't know, I'm cooking a couple things, like I said. Because if I can master that, like imagine this. Oops. Imagine automated footprint with sizing for risk to reward with TPs, all done for you on chart. And then you get a signal on your phone and it tells you that it's bearish, and then it tells you what you can actually risk based off of the time frame, the ATR of the time frame, and what you can be looking for potential rewards for targets. And then it's like, oh, okay, well I just set that, I play the setup that's being offered, right, like the breakout, and then I play it into our targets, and then you're done, and then you log off and you let it play out, and then you go and eat your dinner, right? Like that's the dream. So we'll see. I was telling these guys last night that I was forward testing my automated footprint on Asia. I've been forward testing on the Asia session, just taking signals off of our overnight, and I just passed a 50K with like minimal drawdown. It's like only like two red days, I think. I can show you guys, but like pretty good sign that it's viable. I mean, we'll see what we do with it, but I wasn't gonna forward test it with like live capital, so I thought that would be the next best thing. Let me see. Yeah, this is only taking signals in Asia session on my phone. Oh, that image is too big. Okay, well, this is what we. Is this gonna paste? Okay, yeah. Only taking 2 MNQ or 2 MES in Asia off of signals. We passed that 50K in I think 11 days, just off of signals. Kind of cool. Not bad. So definitely viable. Yeah, we did. Do I plan to make it 100% automated? There's definitely potential there. We'll have to see. Yeah, the copy trading is by far your best. Like that's like huge scalability, but you have to prove that you can take out wins first, right? Sorry, payouts. My brain, it's very slow today. Because if you don't, then it's just going to be like the most devastating loss if you lose all of your accounts at once. Right now, like the way to do it is if you pass evals and you're still not consistently taking out payouts, is to trade them in like 1 or 2 pairs, right? So you pair trade it. So either you have, multiple accounts going so that you can not continue to trade on one, you can move on to the next one. So you should make some money on one account and you're like, oh, okay, sick. Now I can go and work on this account. And that can prevent you from over trading on a singular account and giving it all back, right? And then you have a safety net. And then you can work that up, get some more practice in, take out some payouts without blowing up 10 accounts at once. And then once you feel pretty consistent with your strategy and with what you're doing, then you can start to copy trade multiple accounts so that you can start to stack those payouts. Just you don't want to be in that situation where you blow up 10 accounts at once, man. That'll be so devastating for you. Did I ever try NinjaTrader for automation? Yeah, we have there's another part of TFC that's called Easy Algos that uses NinjaTrader to do fully automated everything. It's all automated trading for prop firms. It's all in NinjaTrader. I handle the live side of the business for manual trading. But if you're interested, Easy Algos is definitely a viable option. Yeah, Braxton's still around. He's doing Hydra, man. So he's doing the options trading. Will your algo be there? I mean, I don't have an algo right now. I haven't done anything. But if I start working on that side, yeah, it would be. For sure. I just don't have any time right now. My current goal is just to automate as much of my live stream as I can. My levels, my indicators, my thought process. Automate as much as I can so it's all there for you so that I don't have to sit here for 5 hours a day. And then, you know, I do maybe like an hour or two session in the morning, and then I actually leave, and then you have fully automated tools that would alert you for the rest of the day and give you the same things that I'd be talking about for when I can, and then I can go do development work. That's the dream. That's the goal. But I've got to do the first step, which is automate my brain, which is hard. So that's what I'm working on right now. This market's dead without Russell, man. What is this? Holy. They're technically impressive, but I don't listen to them casually. That's my impression of them. Like I'll watch them on YouTube and be impressed, but I'm never putting that like a song on in the car, you know, or playing it in front of anyone else who I know like that won't enjoy it. Like that's not music you show to someone else. Yeah, it's cool that they're getting attention for sure. I don't know why they're getting attention. It's kind of very niche. Yeah. I think you're probably right on that. Sven showed me them. He loves his weird duo. I don't even know what to call it. Drum corps. The new age jazz thing. He loves this crazy tempo shift duo bands. What's that clown band? He loves that band as well. It's also just two guys, two drummers. God, I wish my brain worked. So tired. Insane Clown Posse? No, I don't think it's that. No. They're just like two drummers with clown masks on. I forget what their name is. Clowncore. They're called Clowncore. Sven loves them as well. It's another weird one. He always finds the weird bands, man. actual noise. That's another weird one that he showed me. But if you don't click that video if you enjoy your ears. Well, yeah, some of their stuff's okay actually, but a lot of it is like I can't show that to anyone without them being like, "What are you doing, man? What are you talking about?" Yeah, that's like a like what this is you listen to this? Yeah, it's like heavy metal and jazz mixed together with like some electronic. It's like Death Grips were two white guys that were going through an experimental phase in college. All right, let's see if we get this hold into 410, 405. I'm very interested to see if this is going to be our bid. This is a really important look below and fail. This is what we were looking for earlier. Off of the failure at 35s on our hourly time frame, we're now watching to see if we get this similar failure here, which is this look into our 405, 410, and then the ability to trap here, and then rotate and push above this 35 for rotations up. Or if we're going to actually be able to
Apple's
sustain,
touch Mac
hold
puts use
405,
M5
410
Pro
as
and Max
offer,
chips with M7 models to follow.
and then head back down to our open. That's the battle right now. Is which way are we gonna go? Are we gonna be able to trap here and then rotate up for our balance trade? Or do we fail and then hold that as offer on retest from the other side and then rotate back down to lows? Those are my two plans that I'm watching for today. Let's see what they do. So far, very reactive off of 405, 410 on ES. But we need Russell to give a shit. This is our 405, 410, this green box here on ES.
According to IRNA, Iran and Oman Customs Chief proposed joint committee to implement customs agreement.
And then this is our absorption into our highs here that we have to get above. Well, I'm feeling pretty good about that 410 fill. Let's see if we get anything more. Into our value of our previous candle here where we absorbed into 23s. Makes sense that we're seeing a bit of an offer. Yes, holding our 420, 414 where that buyer was, no change. Or sorry, NQ holding that at that edge. Just watching to see what we do as we push in. Trying to get back into our value here. It's going to need to flip. This should be our test. Can we flip this guy here? That'll allow us to fly up. Just our Russell VWAP bounce, right, boys? That's all we've been waiting for into our 410 on EFs. Yeah, it's good. Anything into these 26 to 35s is a great risk off if you're playing off of those lows on ES. If we can flip over 35s, then you have lots of room to run, but definitely take off your first risk here into these highs, and then just leave runners if you have the ability to. But great trade, just based off of our higher time frame analysis, as well as understanding that we just need Russell to hit VWAP for anything actually real. The power of Russell VWAP, man. Later, Ty. Have a good one. Did my stream die or something? What's going on? Hello? Am I back? Hello? Test, test.
11:30 a.m. Eastern Time, expecting comments from Feds Kashkari, who participates in a panel at the Aspen Ideas Festival. As a
Okay.
reminder, Kashkari is an FOMC voting member.
Never left for you? Left for me, man. All my DOMs froze. Is YouTube back? Alright, sick. That was stressful. Yeah, I mean, at least I have a stop on, but I would like to see us go for some continuation here, with Russell finally moving with price. We need NQ over this 40. This 20 to 40 has got to flip. We can rotate up to that 80, and then look for those highs. Testing now. ES pushing into our area of interest. 35 is our flip point. Russell into our pivot here. Taking off one more ES as we push into 32 to 35. I'll look to flip if, sorry, to add if we can flip, but I'm going to do taking off risk as until we push into that. And I'd like to hold runners all the way up to 380. Sorry, 480 on ES following our pathing. Right? This is literally what we just talked about, which is that look into that 405, 410 trap. Now we need to get over this 35, or this is the top. We're watching to see if we can flip here for rotations up. Following our plan. I have 3 contracts left from 410. I've taken off how many is that? 12. Quick math. Holy, I need to go to bed. Watching to see if we can hold this flip for rotations up to this 580, 590 on NQ. That's where our big absorption is into 580, 600. Top of our value. I cannot believe how strong this guy is at this 414, 420, man. Actually insane. Very surprising. But Russell VWAP, goated as always.
So reminder in 5 minutes time, expecting comments from Feds Kashkari, who participates in a panel at the Aspen Ideas Festival. Feds Kashkari is an FOMC voting member.
Just wait for Russell VWAP. If no trades are working for you, just wait for Russell VWAP. I'm telling you. It's the easiest thing you can do when you're like, why, like nothing's doing anything. Just wait. Save yourself some time. Send an alert. Russell VWAP. Russell VWAP saved my marriage. Fucking based. You just need full market participation, man. When we've got that like awful market where we don't have known buyers, or like we're just waiting for the reversion trade, just wait for it. It's much easier for the market to move when everything's running together. Much harder when we're pulling in 3 different directions. So when we start to stagnate above, just wait for it to revert so that we can pop. And then always take off your risk into known resistance after you hit a VWAP hit. We'll watch to see if we can build here. The most important thing on Russell right now from our VWAP hit is, can we now build above this POC shift and get over this 39? Over 39 is expansion on day. Failure to do anything new here is oscillation, where we have to wait for then Russell to come back down to lows for the next leg on NQ and ES. Would probably be what we'd be watching, right? Like these lows, these highs. So that's what we don't want to see. There's a lot of potential for that to happen. We just oscillate this over and over again for the rest of the day. We need to see like a very clear sustain above for continuation. What a candle on ES from our 410. Holy. Couldn't ask for something better.
NATO's wrote to meet UK Starmer, Cooper and Jarvis on Monday.
I have 2 left on ES. Took off another into 35. And then again, I'll just wait for us to flip and bid. And then I'll look to add. And then just move my average up from 410 to... It'll probably move up to like 420 with a combined size. So then we'll still have like a solid stop. Where like this then can kind of have a bit of volatility into 35s from the look above. Right? But definitely just taking off into our known area of interest. And now we just wait to see, you know, can we build here and then go for something like this. And then I'll start to try to scale in at like these 2 price points here. 35 retest and 44 flip. Until then, I'm just going to chill. Don't want to move my average up too quickly until we see Russell willing to breach our highs. No reason to do anything else. NQ just did the full value rotation, right, into our target. Now watching to see if we need to come back down to our low of our balance that we're trading in. Or if we can hold the mid of our balance and then show interest over this 90 to 600 for continuation higher. Holding the mid of our range here, which is what we're testing right now. Right? Do we need to come back down to this low, or can we hold the mid and then show interest above?
Fesh Kashkari says seeing some signs of life in the labour market. Inflation move up, not just about oil and the Middle East. And Kashkari says it was appropriate time to reset the FOMC statement. So Kashkari says, I see rates on hold in 2027, and I have a 1 rate hike penciled in for 2026. Kashkari says going to have to see how no forward guidance works.
You just set a trail on it, man. Easy. Don't have to do anything. Oh yeah, I forgot Apex is trailing. Trailing is god awful. Yeah, it's hard to have runners with trailing. God, trailing drawdown is actual cancer. I can't even imagine. I don't know how I would trade with a trailing drawdown. I have to think of that. I've never had to trade with a trailing drawdown, so my strategy probably would I'd probably blow up accounts like instantly. I let shit come back on me so much, man. I let unrealized like $1,000 trades come back on me to zero all the time. I let my runners run. Like it's either going to the moon or it's coming back to break even on my last contract. Yeah, huge pop off of that flip. We should get a retest though of 35s.
So according to
I'm out one
CNBC,
more here.
OpenAI set to limit GPT 5.6 rollout after a call from Trump administration.
This is our NQ resistance here. This is Russell testing our edge into 39s. Should see a little less momentum. And I gotta delete this stuff so that I can move charts up. But watch our area here at our 44s on ES. See if we hold this or if we need to come back down to retest 35s. Unsure. This is the plan though. We expected a offer to be here. Now we're watching to see if they put in this lower high here. And then we retest our 35s and then go. Or if we can just build here and then push up to previous day value without needing the retest. Unsure. Just following our hourly plan. Remember, Russell needs to be able to push over 39s for continuation. NQ needs to get over this 40 to 700. This is our pivot. This is where we saw absorption on the last attempt into 40s. I'd expect a flag to form here from our absorption at 40s, and then a hold of our 90 to 600 is what you're watching for on this edge. As long as we can build here and maintain this edge here into this low, then I think we're all right, right? We're
So Tanker Trade Group Tanko in a statement says recommends ships delay Hormuz transits if they can. And Tanko says Iran's Hormuz route is a concern.
See what they do. It's just our plan right now, right? Nothing crazy. Bro, Russell v. Wap. 10 minutes left on this candle. That's rough. Oof. God, it's only 11:30. uh, okay, let's see if Russell can hold this. Good look above. Buyer stepping in here at 450, taking in size so far. It's from sells. See what we can do. NQ's got a lot of absorption from open at 60s that we've got to flip through. Love to see this 39 retest on Russell. Let's see if we can hold here. Good bid so far on a flip on ES. Off our 48s, pushing into previous day value high on ETHI.
Kashkari says the Fed may need to raise rates amid broad inflation.
If you took the NQ trade based off of our zone, this is your first risk off. Yeah. Beautiful pathing. Now we watch to see if we can sustain here above previous highs. We can do that, then we keep going. But first leg is done. You feel me? Now we watch to see if we sustain. This is our secondary leg, right? We're here on ES. Watching to see if Russell can sustain here. Nah, there's no, I mean, listen, it's one of those things where it's only, you can chase, man. The thing is just you set a stop, right? Like, it's okay to chase. It's okay to not chase it, to chase and then give it all back because you don't set a stop, right? Like, if we've got momentum and we flip a pivot and we're doing what we want to do, you can enter a trade for a higher low. There's nothing wrong with that. But like, trend is trend. Like, you can't not play higher lows once we break out of a balance, right? Like, you just kind of have to go with the flow on those. Or you know, just want to sit out for like the full rest of the session if we're going to trend, right? Like, there's nothing, remember what we're doing on the hourly. Remember, Michael? Like, that's the most important thing. All we're doing is flipping back into our hourly range, our weekly range here from 435 to 480. So if this move is going to play out, we have room up to 480 on ES. So there's plenty of room if we're going to maintain this flip here at 48 to 44. Well, just watch what happens in the new 15s, right? That's easy. Just play POC to value of our previous 15 for continuation or the hold of this, and that is your risk. And then we watch to see if Russell can sustain here. If Russell can sustain and we can hold our pivot here that we have on ES, then we'll keep going up, right? All good. Yeah, I had a limit at 35s as well. And guess what? I just marketed in once we got the bid at 42s. Yeah, right. Like it's just like if it doesn't hit, it doesn't hit, right? But I'm not gonna not take the higher lows and play the trend, right? Just play off that buyer that we saw at 38s where we sustain.
Feds Kashkari says the goal was to lower inflation without employment damage.
Beautiful hold so far on ES, pushing into next target here, 55s. This is our previous day value high following our pathing. Fucking beauty. 39 hold on Russell. NQ testing into 700s. Playing to a T, boys. Taking off a little bit more risk here. And then just playing our runners now. This is our pathing on NQ playing out, holding our secondary pivot here based off of our hold, rotating up into highs. Russell holding pivot. Took a bit longer than we wanted, but nothing invalidated. Let's see what we can do. Look at that. Look at that trap. Pop and hold over 35s, now rotating up.
Kashkari says not seeing all clear sign in the Middle East.
Oh, my chat disconnected. I don't know if anyone was trying to talk on YouTube, but sorry. Should be working now. Watching our retest of our 48 to 44 here on ES. So we come back down into this with Russell retesting our halfway back. We'd love to see a bid here if we're going to keep going. NQ just into POC, a previous candle. See how we build out here. $60 to $80 on NQ is going to be our offer if they're going to hold on retest. And see this LVN that we just created here. Just watch that. Until Russell finds a low, it's going to be a little mixed. We've got this POC here under this low. Just watching to see if we can like build like this maybe. Get back over, show interest over previous day value. Need Russell to show interest as well, of course. The most worrisome thing is NQ into our POC here, and then failure to establish above 60 to 80, which then leads us down. For me right now would be something like this. We want to see like a pretty clear take here from these buyers that step us over these sellers.
In 10 minutes' time, expecting comments from ECB's Vujic, who joins a panel discussion on climate change and the workshop on micro and macro productivity challenges in times of structural shifts.
That's the sell I was worried
Cash
about on
coverage is
NQ.
definitely not a hot labour market, but decent.
We're bidding it
So
back
Trump on
very
True
quickly.
Social here says the Islamic Republic of Iran shot at least 4 one-way attack drones at ships traversing the Strait of Hormuz. One of the drones solidly hit the upper deck of a large and very expensive cargo carrying ship. Damage was done, but the ship was able to proceed on its way. We knocked down 3 other drones. Obviously, this is a foolish violation of our ceasefire agreement. So again, Trump just saying here that Iran shot at least 4 one-way attack drones at ships, and we knocked them down 3 times. This is a foolish violation of our ceasefire agreement.
Just to give
Seeing
you
some strength in WTI
context
crude here. A little
on
bit of
that
weakness in
level.
the S&P 500. Strength in the US dollar off the back of this true social by Trump.
So you can see where that 60 to 80 was while we were watching it on that retest. You can see that absorption on those that the delta footprint there. Or sorry, the delta profile. For YouTube. It's right there. I'm watching to see if we can just flip this, or if this holds. Volatile
Kashkari says
move
labour
off
market
of
not causing
news.
inflation right now. Inflation is driven by supply issues, including AI build.
Can I buy you a Lucid account? No. Why? What? Why would I buy you a Lucid account? I don't even know who you are. Brother, a Lucid account is going to help you not be broke. You're just going to blow it up. If you're desperate for money, money is not going to come to you. Let me tell you. You're going to over leverage as soon as you have that account, buddy. I'm fully stopped across the board, waiting for these pullbacks to finish into our 35 to 28s here on ES. Watch to see how we interact. This is news-based, so it's kind of out of our control. Just gotta wait for these things to come back. 35 is an interesting level, though, like we know already on ES. Watching as we push in. See if we can start to scale here. The issue is Russell isn't done selling. We'll watch our edge to see if we find a bid. 35s. I've taken an initial size, 5 lots, but I'm willing to scale into this area. It's our higher time frame pivot. I'm watching Russell here as well, and of course NQ into this edge. Just because we're bouncing here doesn't mean that we'll continue. We need to see what we're gonna do. I want us to get back over our 44s to 48s for us to really care, or this just can continue to make lower highs and keep going down. Let's watch what we do. Russell still no confirmed low. A little bit at previous day POC, but I want us back over 39s, and I want to see us retrace this sell. Yeah, it's a great day. If you give me, I will pay you back someday. Holy, bro, now you're talking. We might have a deal. Someday
So
you'll give me
reminding 5
money.
minutes time, expecting comments from ECB's Vujic, who joins a panel discussion on climate change at the workshop on micro and macro productivity challenges in times of structural shifts.
Yeah, man, deal. How can I not take that? Taking off my first risk here into 44 to 48 just in case we fail. I'd love to sustain above, but I'm not sure. Is that Kiz? I don't know. It's someone trolling from our chat. I have 3 contracts left here from 37.50 from that 35 low. Just watching to see if we can flip this and bid. Big offer at 450. Got to get through that guy. I expect 450 to offer and then retest this like 48, 44 and then bid. But maybe we can get through on first attempt, unsure. Russell should let us know with this look back above 39s. This is where we sold on NQ 60 to 80. We want to see like a pretty clear willingness to take above. Or this will be where they lose that momentum again. And then we'll look for that retest I was just talking about at 48 to 44 on ES. Yeah, I can. I think so. You're bad beta 1. Okay. Add as a moderator. There you go. Is banning the only Indian I hate crime? That's the question. Holy mods. Yeah, it's just God. Yo, what's up, Ali? The mod we need.
Surely expecting comments from ECB's Vujic.
I was just gonna keep talking, to be honest. I could be bothered. I'm like half asleep right now.
Fitch Rating says US-Iran war pressures, but does not upend global credit outlook.
What sucks is I'm gonna stop trading, and then I'm gonna go lay in my bed, and I'm gonna have so much adrenaline coursing through me, and I've got my Adderall, that I'm just going to like sit there for the next 9 hours, just being miserable, with no sleep. Just in fight or flight. It's just, it is what it is, man. Oh man, that there's this new setting on the Pixel. I haven't had a new phone in a while, so I don't know if this is new to you guys, but there's that focus setting. I set that when I go to bed, where it just blocks all of my apps from notifying me, like certain apps, so you can select them and it just blocks them all out. And then
We've posted the article by Fitch Ratings on the feed for those interested.
You can't access them, and they don't notify you, so no pings. So like someone can still call you. Your phone's not on do not disturb, right? Emergencies and all of that, but all of like your social media apps can be blocked. So I can do that for naps, and then trading view as well, no alerts. I used to hit sleep mode, but then my dad called me before my sleep mode ended, and he couldn't get a hold of me, and it was a big issue. So now I do it specifically with focus mode, so it's for apps specifically. instead of my overall phone. Yeah, no, I can't be bothered. Because what if someone calls me and it's an emergency and I don't have them on the whitelist, you know? The focus just works perfectly.
US stock index is turning higher now. S&P and Dow up spot 3% each. The Nasdaq up as well, up 0.2%.
I don't know, it was a big issue. It was maybe like 2 months ago where he said he was coming over to my place at 10 o'clock. And he called me and was like, wait, I'm coming over at 8:30 instead. And I was still asleep. And my sleep mode ended at 9:30. And then he was locked out of my building, and he had to beg the managers to let him in. And then he started banging on my door. I was just like, bro, what is this? Oh, like, it's not even my fault, but I still feel bad. So never again will I put my phone on do not disturb. That's the lesson in that. That's what yes, that's what I'm saying, man. Yeah, I didn't know that at the time. I didn't know. It wasn't because it's the sleep mode do not disturb. Listen, I just had gotten this new phone. I didn't know how it worked, so I just used the focus thing now. No more potential disasters. And the new spam blocker on this phone is great. I don't even need to have a separate app to block all of like the spam calls anymore, which is great. Before I was running an app called like RoboKill or something. It was $5 a week for this app to just block all this garbage AI spam. My new phone, I uninstalled that app, and just like the pixel base spam protection works perfectly fine. It's the best feature so far. Dude, I was getting like 45 spam calls a day before this. It was disgusting. So I just kept my phone on do not disturb 24/7. Like, they would just fill up my voicemail box. They would do everything. It was the worst. Yeah, you know, it's how did I fix it? I just bought a new phone. I had a Samsung phone before, and then I got a Google Pixel, and I set up a there's like a little like robot assistant who, if anyone calls me that's not in my contacts, it does like a initial call where they have to tell you why they're calling you. It does like I have a secretary, and if they don't
There's
answer
Kashkar. It says in the near
immediately
term,
hangs
the
up on
AI
them.
build-out is
And if
clearly
they do answer
inflationary.
it, it has to be an answer that it likes, or it hangs up on them regardless. So it just never connects to me. So it never rings until the assistant pushes it through. Yeah, it's a good bot. Yes, the Samsung phone, I was getting nonstop spam calls 24/7. With this, none. But if you, what I was, there's an app called Robot Killer or Robo Killer, but it's $5 a week for it. It's brutal. But it worked really well. That was the only thing. I was about to change my number because it was getting so bad. But yeah, no, That's by far like the best thing that's happened
Fed's
since
Kashkari says
this,
AI is probably pushing up market interest rates.
like easily the best feature. Hopefully it continues to. Hopefully I'm not like bringing bad juju into the. I gotta knock on some wood here. Like I still get spam, but it doesn't. Here, like you can see all of the spam that I get, but it doesn't ring my phone. Like I never see it. So here, this is like this is what my call log looks like. It's out of control, man. But I at least it doesn't affect me whatsoever. Look at this shit. Like what?
Kashkari says, I am still bullish on Labour prospects despite AI.
I didn't even know that this was a thing. Like I don't see these unless I go and look in my log. But they just non-stop calls. And it's all AI. It's just like AI garbage. Well, that's the thing is like a lot of those services, they'll sell it if you cancel the service. That's what people say. So
Fed's
then you
Kashkari
want
says the
to
AI
have
build
to
out probably means that the Fed will have to raise rates.
resubscribe. Right? So I don't know. But call screen just nonstop block stuff for me. It's a beauty. Russell coming back down to VWAP before we get our next trade, I'm assuming. Just watching our 35 to 28 here on ES again. Without Russell, market's dead. GG's. I think I told you guys about this, but like my dad got one saying that he had a warrant out and they were pretending to be like the court and that he had to come in for an appearance or pay a fee. He could pay a fee over the phone or yeah, it's all AI and they get your information and they had his previous addresses from his last apartments and he said like he owed taxes and like he could pay a fee so that he didn't have to go in. Or he could potentially be arrested if he got pulled over. And if there's like this, they knew like the judge of our area, like our local judge, and like all of the people were real, all government employees that he was pretending to be. Like the scams are getting out of control, man. And now with like ChatGPT and like Claude, you can like find everyone's information is in that system. You can find tons of information. Some like Indian guy now knows like your state representatives and your local judges, where the courthouse is, the address, right? Makes a script for you. It's disgusting.
5.0 magnitude quake, 58 kilometers south of Boca de Yuma, Dominican Republic.
Who is this guy? We got a weather boy? Holy. Bro, the 12 o'clock churn is just so gross. Ugh. What's with all these quakes lately? What's going on? Venezuela and Japan, like in the same day, and now another one? It's like a Mag 6, a Mag 7. And now this was a Mag 5? Sheesh. Dude, Venezuela got destroyed, man. Holy. Do you guys see that video of that guy like walking down his apartment stairs, and like every floor it's just getting progressively worse? Yeah, dude, it's like, whoa. It's just like the entire building's like crumbling by the time he gets to the first floor. Terrifying. I'm so glad I live somewhere where there's just nothing. There's no disasters here. I can't imagine living in a place where once a year I gotta dodge a hurricane or a tsunami. Just not worth it. Again, we're just waiting for Russell to get to VWAP and show any sign of life. ES into our 35, 28 area. Just watching to see if we can hold this slow. NQ coming back down into our bottom of range here as well. Just POC on the daily. Market's dead. Oh, look at that. We got our IB trades today. This will be another alert that I'm going to push out for an indicator. If you're looking to do one trade a day, this is a an IB trade on both NQ and ES that I've got fully automated. Look at that. Hold of our 25, first risk off on break. TPs scale out via ATR, ES and NQ. I've been tracking it for all sessions. You can see, what does this one look like? Up 9K on this one. Not bad. That's for ES on the 5. This one up 26. Underperforms some days. That's only on the short side though. Watch what happens when we take off the short side in Asia. If we do, oh no, wait, that's the wrong one. There we go. I think it's actually Asia session, which was causing a lot of that P&L drop. London is fucking terrible. Never trade IBs on London session. There's zero edge. There's solid edge. You're not going to win every trade, but it is a profitable strategy. IB, especially on ES. You can see on ES that is only longs. If we put shorts on for both sessions, P&L goes down. Don't take shorts in overnight. But Asia session and New York session looking for longs, very profitable strategy off that 0.25. If we only look at New York session, shorts and longs on IB, it's still positive, but your shorts, market goes up more than it goes down, right? So longs pay way more downside with looking for shorts, shorting the IB low. If you're playing London, it's just the IB sucks. It's just as bad. It's negative on both. London session's just terrible. But Asia and New York have edge. Let's check some of our other strategies. Anything here? No, not since we hit our TP that other day. Anything here? Let me see on ES. Cooking up a couple things here. Nope, nothing's printed on ES or NQ on that. Let's go to our footprints, see if there's anything there. No, it's just identified this range here on ES that we're initiating in. And NQ, there's nothing yet. What we're going to be watching for on ES here, which is what we're already doing, is a trap into this low. And then rotations up into these highs. Right, we're looking for a trapped liquidity into this bottom of range here until proven that we're going to sustain this edge. So we're watching for sellers, so red deltas below this gray box. And then we're looking for them to then try to close above value of this box. If we do that, then we rotate up, most likely. If we fail, right, we're watching for a very clear trap above this value high and then a reoffer, and then we'd be looking for like rotations down like this. So just got to pay attention to this, but for the most part, usually we look for just these two rotate back through when we look for these range trades. Keep an eye on it. This candle still has 11 minutes to work through, but you can see that they're trying to build here. All we need to do is watch them absorb into these lows, and then if they can get us back above this 38, we're good to go. Above this value, because then these guys would be caught. If they fail to do it, we'll be watching for the new 15 to close below this, outside of our value, and then that would be our sign to then play this down to like 420 or something. That'd be my guess. But I wouldn't want to take this until we see the new 15. Because again, like this is just a potential trap here. But I'd play the reoffer if we closed below outside of this gray box with this liquidity offside above, and then we retested like POC to value. I definitely play that downside if we closed outside below 35s. But again, like if we close into this 30-35 and then pop, it just rotates again easily. Easily. That's just this plan here. Russell almost to view up. We'll watch our reaction as we push into this. I'm going to zoom in on our ES candle so we have a better understanding of what it's doing as we push into that view up. Oh shit, I looked at that and then I forgot to comment, Surf. Yeah, Jedi Survivor is good. City Skylines you'll love. Great game. $8.99, great decision. I've heard good things about Karen. I don't know how to pronounce that, but I haven't played it.
Trump says he will be imposing a 100% tariff on any
Oh, sorry,
and all
Ali.
goods sent to the US. Says the supersedes trade deals made by countries, whether implemented or signed.
I'll tell you all about it.
So he's saying numerous of European countries have been discussing the imminent implementation of a digital service tax on American companies. So Trump saying that any country that imposes a digital service tax will immediately be met with a 100% tariff on any and all goods sent to the US.
Again. Oh my god. Can he just like shut up, you know? Like, we really need to have something constantly in the news cycle. Really. We can't just have a day where we don't hear anything from the president. And there's no irrational decisions are made. Do you remember when Joe Biden was president and we just didn't even know if he was alive? And we were just like casually trading, having fun. And like we just were like the memes were Sleepy Joe and he likes ice cream. And that was like what we knew about the president. And we just traded. Holy. Every day. There's a headline. Get me out, man. Any country that imposes a digital services tax will immediately be met with a 100% tariff on any and all goods sent to the United States. I don't even think you can legally do that. The tariff will supersede trade deals made with the country, whether implemented. Bro, how can any business like have a business plan for the next 4 years? How can any country trust anything we say? I don't understand. Like, what are we... Like, how do you make business decisions and decisions that are, you know, take place over a month's time with this guy in office? You just can't. You can't trust anything he says. It supersedes any trade deals implemented. What? Oh. Yeah, Lantern Man. Have a good weekend. They called him Sleepy Joe because traders could sleep at night. That was a good quote. Okay, so the IB strategy, there's 3 different modes on the IB strategy. There's it's about how it opens. So we want to see longs. We're looking for the first hour of the session to form the low first and then the high. And then you're looking for the 25% to hold with VWAP as supportive, which is what this yellow line is. And then you're looking to play from the 25 to the high as your risk. That's your first risk off. That's the probability. We have an 80% probability that if we hold the 0.75, that we will retest the IB high. We have an 80% probability. So you can take that trade once a day if it forms, and have a pretty solid RR there to take first risk off, and then you can try to hold runners for breakouts with the system that I have on. But that's the idea. Here, let me put on a different version of this so that you can see it with the stats that I've developed. Is this going to be... I think this will show stats. I think the table's on in this version. Where are the stats? They're not loading. Why are they not loading? There should be a table in this corner that shows you the percentages, but I don't know why it's not loading right now. Yeah, I'll give it a minute to load and see if it'll do it. I'm not sure what's going on with it. But yeah, there's a high statistical probability that if we build the low first, and then we build the high, and we close at the 0.75, that we will retest the high IB. It's an 80 to 90% chance. Right, but it's not 100%, but if we can just like build there, you have a pretty solid RR trade there for risk to reward. And then I think for the IB low, if the high forms first, then we take out the low, and then we close on the low, and then the 0.25 holds. I think it's a 75% chance that we take out, or we don't take out, we test into the IB low, and then you would close 2/3 of your position there. Very high probability trade if you're looking to do like a one and done on the day. It doesn't play every day, right? Sometimes we close in a very poor place on the IB, or it's just like not sustainable, or it doesn't, it doesn't work. Even with an 80% win rate, right? It'll fail eventually. Tables off. Maybe. That'd be weird. No, they're on. I don't know why it's not showing. Oh, there we go. Look. So 88% win rate for high first. In 23 out of 26 trades have been profitable. For the low first, 80%, 28 out of 35. For NQ, 19 of the 23 of these trades have worked. 27 of 32. There are your stats. With my backtest data. Kind of cool, right? And you can even filter this. Like sometimes these ranges on the IBs are fucking huge, man. So it's like too much risk. So if you want to like play smaller IBs, I have a filtering that I've built in place so that you can start to you can either do it by ATR based or points based, and then change that to something that meets your demands. And then you can like kind of thin out the model to see if it performs differently within different ranges, right? Sometimes these trades just have too much risk where it just doesn't make sense. Yeah, it is interesting. But this is like this is a model that I see on Twitter. I've been seeing on Twitter a lot from the Edgeful data. So I wanted to see if it was actually accurate. So I built it out myself to see if I could actually build out the strategy. Because I've been seeing a lot of traders who trade one trade a day, but they scale it on 10 accounts. So they're playing this one trade with a high probability. And as long as our VWAP to 0.75 is holding on the 5 minute, they'll play it up into this high. And with that setup, right, you have a positive expectancy, and it's a 2-to-1 RR on today. right? Just playing off of that. So like it's a pretty solid trade. Again, like very highly probable, and then it's like a one and done, and you scale laterally, right? So instead of taking multiple trades or over leveraging, you can trade your micros and just take it into first PT. It's very interesting. I mean, this one could be released whenever. It's done. I mean, it's just the strategy. I was just trying to see if I could if there was anything else that I could get out of it. We're at our 35s here, boys. If we can flip this, we're good to go. Russell held VWAP after the look below from the news, and it's just pushing back up. We're fully
Axios
retracing the
reports are
sell.
on X saying that an Israeli and Lebanese official tell him that they expect a framework agreement between the two governments to be announced today.
Yeah, I mean the orb, I've done some back testing on that as well. Orb is hit or miss. You have to refine it. You have to filter out orb quite a bit. It definitely has merit, but it requires secondary signals to really play. Whereas with IB, it's highly probable without any external filtering. And what's interesting is that that's new. That's new edge. That setup didn't work a year or two ago. So I don't know if that's going to continue to be like have edge, continue to have that high of a probability. But for 2026, it is highly probable to play as of last year and this year. But I don't know if that's just because it's becoming more popular and so that there's more liquidity and more people looking for it, or if like I just don't know. But I know that from back testing it, it's become a highly probable trade this year. Oh, the IB one. Well, it's you take base hits, Ben, right? You don't trade a ton of leverage, so you wouldn't blow up. You're just trying to make like $128 or $150 per account, right? Like the whole point of when you're copy trading is you are just making the bare minimum for the payout on a daily basis, right? You have like one really good day where you've hit your couple thousand, and then you're just sustaining for the rest of the week. So you're getting your base hits. And then but those base hits like really add up with multiple accounts. I mean, if you can make $150 to $300 a day, you're outperforming the average American income wise. You're literally doubling the American salary, the average American salary, off of $150 to $300 a day. So if you can find a highly probable trade that offers that to you on a daily basis at the same time, you've kind of like made it if you're rational. But most people won't stop trading then, right? They'll continue to look for more trades and then give it back. That's the issue. What is this? I don't have sound. Oh, it's NQ buyer trying to step in here. This could be big. Watching to see if we can flip 40s for pushing to 80. They're trying to absorb here really heavily. Yeah, but that's what I'm, if like, this is why I'm really trying to build out these strategies. Cause again, it's all about just like, if you have edge, right, you play around that edge and then you fuck off for the rest of the day. There's no reason to be discretionary trading if you have a probably like a highly probable setup that is repeatable over weeks, months, years, that shows that it is profitable over time. You just need to be able to compound, right? So you need to be able to have multiple days where either you don't take a trade or you lose that trade and still be able to survive on your account, right? So you just aren't over leveraging, and then you're just being able to compound. Like, you're not going to win every trade, so you can't leverage like you are going to have a 100% win rate. And as long as you do that and you're mindful and you're not trying to grow too quickly, right? You're growing within the parameters of your account. You will grow, right? There is a setup that works for you on a daily basis. You're just not happy with the amount of profits that you're getting from it. It's the speed, right, that you have an issue with of your growth. I mean, that's similar. That's a lot of risk though. Stop below IB low is crazy. Where's your stop loss here? We can go back to it. I mean, it's literally on the stop is on the failure to sustain our VWAP and our 0.25, or sorry, our 0.75, which is the 75 is our it's just, this is the 50%, this is the 75%, this is the 100% of our IB. So what you're looking for is the IB low to open at the lows and then close at the highs and then sustain at our 0.75 above VWAP, our intraday VWAP that starts our session VWAP. If we can sustain at our session VWAP and fail to close below, we have an 88% chance to test our IB high on the 5-minute. On ES. There are people that will put their stop at the 0.5%, but that's a lot of risk to me. You can fine tune it. I have in the settings, I have that it will close if we fail. Like you can see exit on wrong side of VWAP close invalidation. I can turn that off, and then the invalidation will be, we can see what that percentage looks like instead. This is a personal thing that I put on for filtering because it's realistic. But like the strategy is that this is your trade. You are watching this, and this is going to blow your mind for a lot of you because, wrong tool, because you're not used to trading with this much risk. But this is literally the trade. It's 1-to-1 from 0.5 to 0.2, sorry, from 0.5 to 0.75 is your risk, and you're trading into your IB high. But again, it has an 88% probability to happen on a 1-to-1. But if you over leverage, you're fucking screwed. That's a lot of points. But this is a very common strategy for trading, for copy trading, taking one trade and then leaving and not looking at the market again. And I've got it programmed for all of our sessions for London, Asia, and New York, because I wanted to see if that worked in all of them. London, it's garbage. Asia, it's fine. New York, it's best. Watching to see if we can hold here at 35s. Still it's doing what we need. As long as Russell has momentum, we can push, but we got to get back over this pivot. ES held our lows, fine. It's just rotating between our two pivots here. You enter the moment you support on 173, 75%. Yeah, so you can, there are multiple entry parameters as well, right? But the trigger is that as long as the 0.25 is holding and we're not closing below the VWAP, then we're good, right? So like this entry is here on this candle as we're pushing down into it. It doesn't matter because we're not invalidating the trade setup. So your entry doesn't, you can try to get the perfect entry, right? Like there's a very clear flip here, but this is in, retrospect. But like, yeah, you're just entering, understanding that your risk is us sustaining here after closing at the highs and you're looking for a move to IV high. And that's just, it is your risk, right? As long as we're not closing below that 5 minute, the trade's good. That's the whole like idea, is that it's the understanding the first hour of the session. We closed at lows, we sustained highs, right? So you're expecting a flag to form and a push to retest highs. And we're holding VWAP as supportive. So we have a supportive volume bid that's sustaining this market move to the upside. So the probability is that we will push to IV high. I mean, you're gonna have to go and back test, but yeah, there's a pretty strong tendency that IV high, like here's a failure. This is what it would look like without a stop out at VWAP. It closes here to our 0.25 on this. This is the original trade parameters. Is you're longing the 0.75 and your stop is the 0.25. That's a shitload of risk. So that's why I added, here, you can see what that looks like stat-wise. This is still profitable, right? But for me, that's way too much risk. So if you turn on exit the wrong side, we can see the profits here and the win rate, 40% profitable, 14K. Do you see how we cut that, but our win rate goes up? We cut the gains, but our drawdown goes down. So to me, this is a much more manageable...
Senior Israeli officials now saying that Israel and Lebanon are expected to sign a framework agreement in Washington on Friday.
Again, it's a probabilistic trade. So if you're playing within the probability, this drawdown makes sense to be trading this amount of risk. Do you understand? Because we have a high probability to go to that level, but you need to have that amount of risk set for that trade to play out. And it's going to be too much risk for a lot of you. So if you're over leveraged, so trading one contract with something like this makes a lot of sense, and then stacking it laterally by having multiple counts copy trading it, right? So that's why it's worth. But I was trying to refine it to see if we could get a cleaner entry and what that would look like. But you can see that a lot of those trades are going to stop out at that VWAP, and a lot of your profits are going to be negated because of that. So you have to filter. There's more you can do. You can filter it then. You can, if the IBs are too large, right? Then
IMF Chief Economist Garincha says the Fed's move away from strong forms of forward guidance on monetary policy is entirely appropriate, and says that the move sends a strong signal, but central banks will still have to provide some form of guidance for long-term rates, and the markets will always pass what central banks are communicating. Central banks will step in to correct that if needed.
There we go. And then it's
Iran's
like, okay,
Revolutionary
well,
Guard
now
spokesperson
we can do
denies the
filtering.
claims
This
of
is something
direct
that
Iran-US line on the Strait of Hormuz, calls them a complete lie, saying that it is Iranian territory and has nothing to do with the US. This is according to Now News. So this was reported earlier that there was a line of communication between Iran and the US on the Strait of Hormuz to avoid any escalation. Iran's Revolutionary Guard spokesperson is denying these claims now.
Okay, hopefully he's done talking. So I then, after we saw that initial, then I was like, okay, let me make another version with more options that I can add. So now there is a flip. So it'll manage the trades and cancel them out. There's a flatten at the end of the session so that the things can play, but we're canceling it out for the next trade to have an opportunity to play. And then there's the scale out at the IB extremes and trail runners. This is something that I added. The original trade setup doesn't have that, right? This scaling out gives you asymmetrical edge, because now you have the ability to hold runners and scale with these trades and take profits. And if not, then you're relying a lot on the 1-to-1 to have over a 50%. With this allows our 50% to win, right? And also be able to make money. If we don't have this on and we're just scaling out at the IB extreme, we would need to change our setup, our parameters, so that our risk is lower, right? You have to remember, this is with the VWAP wrong off. So if our VWAP wrong is on, right, we have a higher win percentage. So now you're starting to just play around with scaling and like you just go into it and you play around with your settings, and then you figure out what works and what doesn't. But I think the filtering mode is going to be the most important part, which is like, if the range is either too small or too big, you don't want to be trading it because it's not worth your time, or it's going to be too much risk for your account size. I haven't messed with this at all on this, but that would change your win percentages quite a bit, but it would also limit the amount of trades you're taking, because now you're being much more picky with the IBs. But it's something that makes sense to do. 123% for the runner. No, I just put an ATR stop on it. I don't do measured move targets like that. So like you can see what this looks like with an ATR stop. So it takes off 1 into, here, let me see if I can find one. This is what it looks like. So it buys the 0.25, scales out 1 at IB high, and then this ATR follows it, and then scales out until trend breaks. On Mars, it's a 3 contract total, 2 runners. You can see like, and you can change like that ATR, of course. But this is what it looks like on a short day that had a really nice expansion to the downside. This is your short at your 0.25 from we opened at the highs, we closed the IB at the lows, we then held our VWAP as resistance and held that 0.25, offered below, took our first profit into IB low, and then trailed our runners with an ATR, and then exited like that, right? That allows you to have some really nice asymmetric risk. Right, without that, all of your contracts would just be closed there, and it would be just looking for that move. Which again it's a highly probable trade, but why exit there when you can just have a strategy that exits and maintains your risk and then allows for runners to do something like this, you know? That means when you have an asymmetrical risk like this, you don't need to have as high as a win rate because you buffer. I think it's 14. Oh no, sorry, that's not the right thing. It's the trail is a 3.5 multiple and a 14 length. I don't know. I'm still playing with it. I think we can do better. But like I said, like finding setups like that and being able to just take that trade and be happy and then leaving, that's like your key to winning. When you stay too long, when you over leverage, right? When you take multiple setups a day that you're unsure of and you're not stopping out, right? That's when things start to really screw you, because you're just bored. You're bored and you're trading, right? There's no setup that's actually viable. Trade your edge. Again, like I just passed a lucid 50K by only trading off of a 15-minute footprint on my phone, only taking signals in the Asia session, taking one trade and then leaving, making, you know, $150 to $700 a day, and then letting my micros just run. Like, you don't need to overcomplicate this. You just need to stop trading garbage and start following your rules and trading within your leverage. So like, let's find like as many of those kind of like probabilistic opportunities, and then they will be, you know, available to you guys. And then you can, if you want to just trade the open and that open prints, great. And then you can leave for the rest of the day and then you're good, right? Then you have the day to enjoy yourself. The goal is to not have you sit here as like you're at a 9 to 5, right? You didn't want to become a trader to sit at your desk for a 9 to 5. Later, Ben. I don't know, I'm gonna be doing a bunch of backtesting on value profiles as well. I don't know. I'm gonna go through all of it. Why not? I have the opportunity to do it now, so might as well.
Qualcomm plans new chip architecture for phones.
Beautiful retest of our 35s, rotating up to our big target here, 44.48. Got to flip that for more, or that'll be where our sell sides occurs. Same thing with 60 to 80 on NQ. Got to show interest here above 40s, then we look for 80 offer. Right now, they're still willing to just take in here, two-sided on NQ. I'm none of them. They will be eventually S dot at some point. None of that's released yet. It's all things that I'm working on when I'm not streaming. I won't release anything unless I feel like it actually has merit. So I'm forward testing and back testing everything that I make to make sure that it's like actually viable. Again, that's why I was doing it with like the prop accounts, to see if it could be done within the drawdown. Gotta back test, then you have to forward test. I mean, I don't really want to stay for too much longer, boys. I got 1 hour of sleep last night, and this market's just balancing where we thought it would be. They definitely could get a big move into the end of the session if we can sustain where we are. But I don't need to be here for that. I have zero FOMO. We had a really good morning. We're just watching to see if we can build here for us to head back up here. Right, we trapped into this 405, 410. We're now just trying to build here at this 35. If we can sustain, then we can look for this rotation up. We'll watch for something like this more realistically. If this fails here, we're going to be watching for them to flip 405, 410, and then we'll look for rotations back down to our lows on the day. That'd be my assumption into the end of the day. We've talked about this before, but you need Russell to start to show excitement again. I'm perfectly happy if they want to just like hold this 30 to 35 for right now into lunch, and then at like 2 o'clock they then pop it. That's definitely a possibility. I'm noticing that it's only 1 p.m. So do I want to sit here for another hour when I could be in my bed? Not really, you know? Yeah. But yeah, like here are levels on ES on the intraday. Again, we have our levels on the higher time frame. This is our hourly chart. Big levels, look below and fail area, big pivot above. These are our intraday levels. We're watching to see if we continue to maintain here at our daily POC, which has shifted to this 420. If we can hold here, we're watching to see if we then can sustain this 30-35. If we can build above this 30-35, we're in a good spot for rotations up to 45-48. And then we watch to see if we can sustain here. If we can start to build above previous day value high, this will give you an opportunity if you miss this move here. We will get another bid here at previous day value high that will then allow you to play this up to 80. That would be my guess. So if you
shortly
are
expecting the
unwilling to
results
play
from the
this
Baker Hughes rig
balance,
count data for the week.
I'm assuming that we will get a bid here, and then you will get another opportunity on a hold of our previous day value high for rotations up to 480. So there will be multiple areas of interest for you to trade, right? This hold here, this flip here, and then this flip here will probably all offer opportunities for longs if we're going to go back up. That'd be my guess. Failures, right? This is your failure setup. POC is shifted here. What does that mean for the market? What if we don't go up? What if we go down instead? Well, POC is shifted here. Where are we going to look if we flip this POC? Let's say instead of going up, we chop here. We continue to show no interest above. We trap some liquidity on a look above and fail area here, right? Trapping liquidity into this, reoffering a lower high. We look below. What are we going to be watching for on the downside? Well, I'm going to be looking for us to flip our 30s, rotate our range, right, down here into this low. And then I would expect one of two things to happen from this point off this flip. This is an opportunity, right? This is an opportunity. And then we'll have an opportunity here as well, where either we immediately flip below our previous day POC to value, allowing for a trade here, or we'll get one of these, which is our reoffer from our bounce here at our daily POC, and then we'll get this rotation down. These are both opportunities that you can play on a downside move once we see a very clearly trapped trader in our highs.
Wall Street Journal reports that the Atlanta Fed's search for a new leader has stalled.
Right.
Seeing the
This
Baker Hughes
POC
numbers
shift
now,
will
total
give you
rigs
your
573,
target.
oil rigs 440. So that's a reduction of, an increase of 7 oil rigs for the week.
This is where we would go on the downside if we flip this node. Yep. Right. So we would flip below, and then you'd be looking for this to then sustain. If we do that, we would then be trading back down to this POC shift. Why? Because we've built out two separate distributions on the day, right? This upper distribution and the lower distribution from this morning. This is where the POC shifted. So if we continue to fail where these buyers have pushed price up here at this large node and we flip it as resistance, then we would be looking for a rotation back down to this low where this original buying was happening here on this node. Let me scroll out a bit more so you can see that. right? Look, two very clear nodes. Turn off drawings. Look at our overnight session. Where did we trade for most of the session? Blue is the overnight. So what are we doing
Two
right
men
now?
use UK and Iran, discuss US negotiations and a call.
We have two clear distributions, yeah? Lower and upper. Very clear where we need to flip our highs from our overnight, right? So if we fail to sustain here, then where are we going to head? Well, we're going to head back down to this low. That's all I'm saying. So all you do is you
OpenAI
continue to
starts
watch
limited
this,
preview of
and then we
GPT
continue to watch
5.6
this.
series.
Right? These are your three clear pivots on the day. We balance here, right? That is a potential opportunity for 420 to 450. Failure to hold this 415, 420 area, right? Well, then look for this rotation back down to this lower node. That'll be what you watch for. What you're watching for now is, can buyers sustain the upper edge of this node, right? This 330, 335. And can we then push over our overnight highs for a move up to our 480 target for our hourly range fill up here, right? These are our main levels. Just structurally. Hopefully you can see that. Yeah, I should have probably extended this over here. There you go. Do you see how you can like simplify the market into this balance here and this balance down here? And then we have a balance over here that you can't see that's off screen into 480. But like all you're doing is watching to see if we can flip this shit. And what we're doing right now is this 430, right, is just a hold of a higher low, right? If we were looking at this as a balance play, this is us holding the highs or the mid to high of our current balance, with this being our upper balance, right? So what we're doing right now is showing a buyer willing to take in at the high of this range instead of the low of this range. Why are they doing that? Well, it's because they think that we can go higher, right? They're trying to initiate to bid us out of this area. They want to do this, flag it, step up, continue. Or they would be waiting for us to come back down to this lower edge if they didn't think that we could get out, right? Hopefully that makes sense. And you can see that bid at 35 and pushing into that 40, 48, 44, 48. That's your first target off of 35s, right? So you take off your first risk, you make the trade free. It's a 1-to-1 right now. What do I mean by 1-to-1? Well, this is your risk. You're looking for the higher low. This is your reward. It's a 1-to-1. So if you take off half here, the trade is now free and you can let it run for the potential for continuation. You're looking for the higher low, you're playing your risk, and now we wait to see what we do here. Do we chop? With half your position off, you can now look to see if we can go for this continuation. And then you can look to add above 48s on retest if we have the rest of the market following suit. As long as Russell is holding VWAP as supportive on these tests and we continue to fail to make it as resistance, you should have a upside bias, in my opinion. Even if it's just going to oscillate on the day, right? Even if it just wants to do this, that's fine. I don't care. It's not going to be the most bullish trend, right? We want to see this above previous day value and to push. But if it wants to just oscillate, well, NQ leads us up. ES will follow with NQ then. We just need Russell to then be flat and oscillate between our VWAP and our previous day value. That's fine. But if we continue to fail and absorb here, and then we start to show VWAP as resistance instead, and we can't get above our daily value, and we'll then rotate back down, right? That's buyers don't have it in them anymore. That's it just is what it is. And then we'll come back down to our day open if that happens, would be my guess. So again, like as long as we're seeing initiative buyers as we push down into VWAP, I don't really care. We'll just rotate back into this, lose momentum, and then do it all over again. But at the same time, while Russell's doing that, right, NQ is able to make higher lows with each one of these rotations on Russell. Same thing with ES, right? We have an oscillating Russell with NQ higher lows. That's fine. Just remember where your edges are, where that momentum loss could be. I think I've covered everything. It is incredibly important that we show interest on NQ over this guy here. This is where our big absorption is. If we can flip this, then we're good to go. I have 10 micros left here on NQ. I've taken off half size just like I talked about. Right? And we'll watch to see if we can flip and hold this. If we can, then we'll rotate up, following our plan, right? Nothing is changing. Just took off a little bit more risk there into 50, and I'm just going to leave runners and go walk my dog and then take a nap. All right, trade plan set. You guys should be good. Yeah, I don't know. Feel like I've done everything I can. Good PVZ hold, good flip, good hold of our level of interest. If we get the pop, we get the pop. I'll be in it. If not, I get stopped out and I am profitable on this trade. Have a good weekend. Enjoy the rest of your session. I'm going to try to sleep. Maybe that will fail and then I'll be back. I don't know. We'll see. But, yeah. All right, later. Maybe, but I'm getting too tired to make like rational decisions, so I don't want to sit here and ramble and potentially like make poor decisions or give poor decisions, right? Like I want to stay like clear-headed, so I'm gonna leave regardless and just try to rest. I might not sleep, but I'm definitely getting off my computer. Peace.